somebody had commented on one of my videos like, why do y'all keep moving here? I'm trying to leave. It's like, well, leave. There are things that you have to get accustomed to if you're moving to the South from other parts of the country. That's just what it is. They would be messaging me during the school day. Like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they're messaging me, well, what's going on? Because I see my child lost dojo points. Miss, I'm in the middle of class. Like I'm in the middle of teaching your child. Dated her for 4 months. We're still cool. It's no bad blood, nothing like that. If you watch this video, which maybe you will, maybe you won't, I don't know. You know what it is. I know the first question on everybody's mind, are you staying in New Orleans? What's up, my energies? Welcome back. And as always, salute to you, your inner god or goddess, and your gangster. So, your girl has been in Louisiana for 2 years now. 2 years. Like, 2 years. I officially hit my 2-year mark February 28th, which was yesterday / today, March 1st. I moved here on February 28th of 2021, and I didn't know anybody. I had saved up some money during the pandemic, and made the decision to leave Brooklyn, miss it, love it, and come to New Orleans. And it's been 2 years. I feel like I've been here much longer. People have told me it's only been, when I hit my 1-year mark, it was like, it's only been a year. I feel like I've been here so much longer because I feel like so much has happened within this time frame, but it's only been 2 years. So yeah, let's get right into it. I have a list of things that I want to talk to you guys about. Pretty much the same things that I've talked about in my previous, New York to New Orleans update videos. All right, so let's get into it. I know the first question on everybody's mind, at least if you've been, following me through this journey, is probably, are you staying in New Orleans? I do plan on moving, but I'll still be in New Orleans. I had to do the little, fake y'all out. I'm not leaving just yet. So over the Mardi Gras break, I told myself I was gonna try to look at some apartments and do a little bit of apartment hunting. I was not in the Mardi Gras spirit, so I didn't go out, which is why y'all don't have a vlog of me going to different parades and stuff this year. I wasn't feeling it. But I did a little bit of apartment hunting, not much. I decided that I'm going to go for a studio the next time around. I have a 1-bedroom right now. I've been in this apartment for 2 years. And I think when I left New York, because I had been there for 4 years and I had been living with a bunch of roommates and I had been living in a room, I became accustomed to living in a very small space, navigating a very small space and being okay with that. And then 2, I just didn't want to have a roommate anymore, or roommates. I had multiple roommates each time I moved somewhere when I was in Brooklyn. And so moving here to New Orleans, I was like, I want a 2-bedroom. I need all this space, and I need to have a room to do this and a room to do that. And that. I barely utilize my living room and my dining room. Like, I just started sitting out in the living room because I got a TV. I didn't have a TV for a very long time because I was like, all right, I can just watch everything on my phone or on my laptop. I don't need a TV. And then my sister actually got me one for Christmas. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll sit out here on my couch now. Like, have a full living room and I don't use it. Moving forward, I think a studio would be perfect for me. Like, I don't need that much space. I just need space for myself. I just need to be able to be in my own space, not have anyone living with me, not have any random strangers or roommates, in proximity to me. And it's just, there's so many things that have to go right when you have roommates. Like, so I'm off that. I went to see a studio on Saturday. I think I saw 2 studios. Did I see 2? I did see 2. I saw 2 studios on Saturday. And I like the setup. It's not like the standard studio where it's just a big open space and you kind of just have to figure out where you're going to put stuff. There's like a divider in there that separates the bedroom from the living area. And I love that. Like, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. It's already set up. I don't got to do too much work. I don't have to buy a wall and a divider and all this other crazy stuff that people have to do. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because you got to do what you got to do, but I don't want to have to do that. So I really appreciate that that's there. I loved it. I was like, all right, cool. That's moving. That's the update on that. Let's talk about career. So I've been here for 2 years. When I moved here, I did not have a job. I had some money saved up, which is how I was able to, get the apartment and take care of myself for a little bit. And then I started doing Uber. I started working for an organization that provides substitutes around New Orleans at different schools, charter, public, private, whatever. After doing that for a few months, this past summer, there was an opportunity to get a permanent position with the school. And so I was like, okay, well, this is perfect. I'll be working the whole year. I don't have to worry about picking up substitution gigs or anything like that. I'll be set. So I took that position at that school. I started in August, and I decided that February was going to be my last month. And so literally Monday and Tuesday would have been my last days. I did not go in, but I'll explain why. So I took that position at the school, very small school. And it was too much. When I took that position at the school, I signed on to be a TA, a teacher's assistant. Simple enough. And so what happened is the third grade teacher ended up leaving in like late August, early September. Like, we weren't even that far into the school year. And so, the principal gave me a call and said, hey, do you want to take over this class? Are you willing to take over this class? And I could have said no, but I said yes. And I talked about this in a previous video. I said yes, I took the position. It's a very small school, a very small staff, right? And so I feel like there's various reasons why I left. There's various reasons. One, I feel like there wasn't enough support for the teachers with the demographic that we have, with the kind of students that we have. A lot of the students at the school have special needs, or they have IEPs, or whatever the case may be. And that's not to say that they can't learn or interact like normal students. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying I don't feel like there's enough support for them in that regard. Like, my class specifically, that third grade class, there was about 6 students in there that had various needs, and trying to manage them and then also teach the rest of the class and manage the rest of the class, it just became tiresome. It became exhausting. And when I took the position over, I had a TA as well. Then she ended up leaving. And so then I had another TA come in, but she was only with me, the first TA was only with me till 12 because she was in college. So she would come in, be there from like 8 to 12 and then leave. And then I didn't have any support after that with a class of 23 kids, 23 third graders, right? And so then I got another TA. She came in, and same thing. They split her time up with me. So I would have her from the morning to 12 o'clock, and then she would bring them back from lunch, and then she would go with the second grade class. It's just, there were so many moving pieces and not enough people to move, not enough pieces to move. You know what I mean? So that was one thing. I just felt like there wasn't enough resources or support for the demographic that we're teaching. Then a lot of the teachers were leaving. The teachers' assistants, the teachers were leaving. Like, it was just a revolving door. And I'm like, bro, what's going on? My class specifically has had a number of teachers. I think about 5 teachers is what I was told. And they've been there since, I think, maybe kindergarten. Majority of the majority of the children in that class have been with the school since like kindergarten, first grade, or something like that. But they've had a number of teachers. Even when I told them I was leaving, my plan was not to leave them. I wanted to make it through the rest of the year. I wanted to finish off the school year and then maybe potentially work with them over the summer, but it just became exhausting. And so even when I told them, like, this is going to be Miss L's last month or whatever with you guys, they were like, you're leaving? You're the 5th teacher that left us, and this person left, and that person left. And they just started rambling off a list. And I'm like, this is crazy. I did not want to be another teacher that left them, but my mental health and my physical health come first. I don't care what job it is. I don't care who it is. Those 2 things have to come first. I've learned that over the past few years. They have to come first. I would feel heavy. It really got to the point after, I believe after they had, what break was that? I think after Thanksgiving break, I was like, oh, I don't want to go back. And then we had Christmas break, and you guys know I was preparing to have VSG or bariatric surgery. I didn't want to go back before I even had the surgery. We were on break, and I'm like, I feel fine. I feel calm. I feel even tempered. I don't want to go back. And then I had surgery, so I took off another week, and I still didn't want to go back. And then I had parents reaching out to me. That was another thing. That was another reason. So we have the lack of support or resources for the students in the classroom. Then we have parents. About 5 or 6 parents, not necessarily the parents of those special needs children, but about 5 or 6 of those parents were very needy and very like, always messaging me, always asking me this, always asking me that. And that can be tiresome as well. They would be messaging me during the school day. Like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they're messaging me, well, what's going on? Because I see my child lost dojo points. Miss, I'm in the middle of class. Like I'm in the middle of teaching your child. And then I would explain, like, for example, in that instance, I was like, it's not just your child that's losing dojo points. It's a class effort. I'm taking class points. She could not wrap her head around that. She was like, well, if he's not doing anything, why is he losing points? And I'm just like, even had the child's father reach out to me for an explanation. I'm like, I told her already, no, he did not do anything specific, but it's class. The whole class is out of control. So lack of resources and support, parents, and then the administration itself, like that, which kind of falls into the lack of support and resources, because you have a small school, you have one principal, you have one administrative assistant that's trying to run this whole show. I know that they're overwhelmed, so I gotta be overwhelmed too. Like, is it me? Is it just me? And, you know, when talking to my colleagues, they felt the same way. They just trying to push through too. I feel like that's the case with a lot of school systems across the country. People are tired. Teachers are tired. We do not make enough. They do not make enough to deal with crazy administration or parents or students that are just out of control and not trying, and not, it's just so much that you have to deal with as a teacher. Y'all really deserve more pay, more support, more resources, more kindness, more gentleness. My sister sent me a video recently on Facebook where it was like a video of a teacher reading these crazy requests that parents have sent to other teachers. And it was like the wildest things you would ever think of. Like, I think one person was asking, can the teacher take time out to make sure that the student has their gym shoes, or to text her to make, baby, this is your kid. We are not the co-parents of your children. These are your children that you have had. We're taking the time to try to educate them and you know, help them grow and evolve mentally and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, there has to be a line somewhere. So that's why I decided to leave. I didn't go back these first 2 days of this week, which would have been the 27th and 28th, because I had interviews lined up. And I, you know, reached out to the principal and I was honest with her. I was like, hey, you know, I won't be in Monday and Tuesday. I have interviews lined up. I'm supposed to go today to drop off some work, because I did bring work home during the Mardi Gras break to grade and put in for them. And so I have no problem putting in grades. I'm never like gonna, you know, dip on my responsibilities. I'm never gonna be like, oh, I'm not doing that, I'm done. If you make me responsible for something, I'm going to make sure that I carry that out. And I had a conversation with the principal when she started to interview people. And she was like, you know, don't think that I haven't seen that you took over this position and you've done it with class and grace. And I really appreciate that. And I understand. When you told me that you were leaving, I didn't beg you to stay. I completely understand why you're leaving. Like, so that's that. Making friends here. Still haven't made friends. If you follow me on TikTok, I recently went on like a little friend meetup or a friend date. I matched with somebody on Bumble, and the experience was just really, really strange. I'm not even going to go into the details of it. Y'all can just go watch my TikTok. It's 3 parts, but it was a really strange experience, and it really led me to be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm good. I'm just going to stop. I talked to my therapist about it on Monday. I had a session and told her about the experience, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. And she was like, I understand. I understand. I just can't. I'm going to try to go out more, continue going out more and meet people organically. But as far as dating, and that leads me to the next point. I was going to talk about dating too. As far as dating and making friends here, you know, online, I'm not going to do that anymore. So that really means I'm going to have to put in even more effort to go out and do things. And, you know, I don't have a problem doing that. But y'all know, I have no problem doing things on my own. I've never been the type of person that's like, oh my God, no, I can't go out here. I can't do this. Y'all see me going to concerts and events and stuff like that by myself. I have no problem doing that. I think especially in a new state or a new city or a new country for that matter, you want to make friends. You want to meet people from that area that you can bond with and go out with and hang out with, and that could potentially show you around and experience things with you. You know what I'm saying? I talked about how difficult it is. I prefaced the whole thing by saying it's difficult to make friends in your 30s as a Black woman. It's probably difficult to make friends in your 30s, period. But I'm a Black woman, so you know I always speak to what I can speak to. I'm not currently dating. I was dating a woman for about 4 months. We matched on, what was that? We matched on Hinge, and we dated for about 4 months. I decided to end things because I just felt like, once again, there's always a reason. Something wasn't clicking for me. Like, I liked her. I thought she was attractive. I thought she was amazing. I don't think she's a horrible person. We still communicate with each other, actually. Because I wanted it to be, I didn't want it to end on bad terms. I'm never the person that's like, you know what? Have I ghosted people before? Yes. Have I been ghosted? Absolutely. But I didn't want to end things like that. So I had a conversation with her. She took about a day or so to process it. And then, you know, we continued the conversation and aired things out, and we were honest with each other. But I decided to end it because I had just decided to quit the job, I think maybe the week before. I think that's how that went. After that, I was in this mindset of, okay, this is your last chance to really figure out what you want to do with your life as far as career and get it done. Give it your all. Give it 100%. I did not have anything lined up when I decided to quit this job. When I decided my last month is February with these kids, I had nothing lined up. And with the exception of me moving here without a job, I've never not had something lined up after quitting a job or in the process of quitting a job. I always had something else lined up, something tucked in my back pocket. I didn't have anything. Thankfully, I've been able to do a couple interviews, but you know, in that same vein, I was like, okay, what else am I feeling iffy about or not feeling 100% sure about in my life? And spiritually, I had so many dreams about her, and none of them were positive. And that's not to say she's not a positive person. I'm not saying that. But none of the dreams were good. The very first dream I had about her, and I told her about it. I told her about the dream. She was like, wow. I'm like, yeah. I really didn't even want to tell you about it, but I did not like that dream at all. She was like, that's crazy. Whatever. And then I subsequently had 3 or 4 more dreams about her. I told her about the second one. I didn't give her the details, but I told her, I was like, I had another dream about you and it was not good. Like, I don't know what's going on here. So that alone, y'all know I be tapped in, and I don't play with the being tapped in. Because my ancestors have never been wrong. My spirit guides have never been wrong. Every time I don't listen to them is when I get into trouble. So I was like, something's not right here. At one point, she did ask me to be exclusive with her. And me, I'm thinking, okay, well, if you're asking me for exclusivity, the next step is asking me to be your girlfriend. But she said that she wanted me to ask. And that threw me for a loop, because I'm like, well, why do you need me to ask if you've asked for exclusivity? Like, I'm like, we were on the phone, and I'm like, well, when you gonna ask me to be your girlfriend? Like, straight up, I just asked her. She was like, when you're ready, I'm all yours. I'm like, what? So we eventually hashed that out. So nothing I'm saying on here is gonna be like a surprise to her. We eventually hashed it out, but that also was like, well, why is it now on me to push the relationship forward to the next level? I'm confused. So that was the thing that was in my head, and I'm just like, I don't get it. But yeah, dated her for 4 months. We're still cool. It's no bad blood, nothing like that. If you watch this video, which maybe you will, maybe you won't, I don't know. You know what it is. The last thing on my list is exploration. Exploring New Orleans, exploring Louisiana. I still want to do that. And you know, it's given I may just have to do a lot of it on my own, which is fine. I did make one friend. So we matched on Hinge, and we've been cool ever since. That's whose house I went to for Christmas dinner. She's really amazing, really dope. And she's a transplant just like me. And she's spiritual just like me. And so we could talk about certain things. And, you know, I told her about the experience with the girl I went out to meet to make, you know, friends with or whatever. And she was like, and she brought up a really valid point about her experiences have been the same here. She was like, you know, I don't know what it is, but when I meet people here, or when I try to make friends or build community here, it's like people think you're in competition with them. And I'm like, yes. I don't know what it is about the South. I don't want to just put it on Louisiana, but I feel like being here, when people know that you're from a big city or you're from up north or whatever, they automatically think that you think you're better than them. And I've talked about this in other videos. But it's like, no, I'm coming here. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't people like that. Yes, there are people that will come to you and tell you, yo, I'm from such and such, and yeah. And all right, that's who they are. But when you meet genuine people like myself or my friend that are trying to build community and create sisterhood or create friendship and, you know, just be open and explore, it's weird to be met with like, oh, you're from New York. Like the girl that I hung out with, she was like, your personality comes off as pushy. And you said you're from New York, right? And it's like, that's what those are the 2 connections you made? It's tough. it's just really tough. It's difficult when you're met with a wall, when you're met with hesitation, when you're met with like preconceived notions about you because of where you're coming from, where you've moved from. It's like you don't even want to give me a chance. You're just assuming that I'm going to be a certain way because this is where I came from. Or you're assuming that I'm in competition with you. Somebody had commented on one of my videos like, why do y'all keep moving here? I'm trying to leave. It's like, well, leave. Those two things have nothing to do with each other. Me moving here is not stopping you or holding you back from leaving. You know what I mean? You could always do that. It's like when people tell me, oh, you're so adventurous and you're so brave and you're so, it's like, okay, but you can do the same thing. You can be adventurous and brave and travel, and like, people just be so scary sometimes. And I'm like, I don't understand. I genuinely can't understand it, because if I want something, I'm going to go after it. You know what I mean? I don't know. But that overall has been my experience. More recently, but obviously over the past 2 years of living here, I don't hate it here, but I terribly miss Brooklyn. Like, that's never gonna change. This is always gonna be the case. It is what it is. I miss New York. So I know somebody may be like, well, does she like it there now? Or I never hated it. There are things that you have to get accustomed to if you're moving to the South from other parts of the country. That's just what it is. Same as if you're moving from the South to other places in the country, up north or Midwest or, you know, West Coast. You have to be able to adapt. And so I think I've been able to adapt for the most part. There's still some things I'm like, yo, why do y'all drive like this? Why do you drive like this? And just, you know, there are some things still where I'm like, but it's not as much of a shell shock to me anymore because I've been here for 2 years. So there's certain things I'm like, this don't make no damn sense. But it's like, whatever. That's just how it is here. Whatever. So I think that is everything. That is my update on 2 years living in New Orleans, living in Louisiana. I gotta fulfill my purpose here. I'm not done yet. And I was talking to my friend the other day. I told her that I think people like us come to a place like this for a reason. We have a purpose, we have a mission that we have to complete, and then it's wherever the wind blows us next kind of thing. People talk about how magical of a city New Orleans is, and I don't doubt that. I felt it. That's a whole nother conversation. I felt certain things. My dreams have become so much more heightened being here. You know, back in New York or wherever, I would have dreams about things and it would happen and it would come true, but it wouldn't necessarily be my life. I've had dreams predominantly about my life and my, you know, experiences here, which is crazy to me because I'm like, well, how come I didn't have so much foresight for my own life when I was, you know what I'm saying? So everything is happening for a reason. Everything is moving and shaking and shifting the way that it's supposed to be, because that's what it's supposed to be doing. So I try not to question things. Even when I go through an experience that is less than pleasant, I'm just like, okay. Because a lot of the times once it's over, I can come out of it understanding, oh, that's why that happened. Oh, this is what this was. Oh, that's what that dream was about. Okay. All right. I hear you. I hear you, spirit. Okay. I'm holding on. I'm holding on. So, you know, I'm here to fulfill my purpose, complete my mission, do what I got to do. And where I go next, I'll keep y'all updated. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and that's it. I'll catch y'all in the next video.